Hello and welcome back to Canada Top to Bottom. In today's video, we're going to tell you about one of Canada's great pilot programs, the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. The RNIP was launched in 2019 and is initially set to run for 5 years, with the option to extend after that if it has been a success.
The first thing to mention about this program is that it is a direct path to permanent residence in Canada. It's not a work permit or a temporary pathway. Once you've been successfully selected, you and any immediate family members will gain permanent residence in Canada.
Secondly, the RNIP is a specific program which is designed to address the labour shortages in rural communities in Canada. The government recognises that the majority of new immigrants choose to settle in the larger cities across Canada, such as Toronto, Montreal or Vancouver, where there are naturally more employment opportunities. But this program aims to attract more immigrants to smaller communities which would otherwise miss out on the influx of new skilled workers into Canada, therefore spreading the benefits of economic immigration.
The RNIP program provides a faster and simpler pathway to permanent residence for successful candidates and is community driven, meaning that although the IRCC ultimately decides who can and cannot enter Canada, each participating community has the power to decide on any additional eligibility requirements, and each successful applicant must have a community recommendation as part of their application process.
As well as this, the communities will assess prospective candidates and decide on the ones who they feel best meet the economic needs of their community. It probably goes without saying that anyone who applies through the RNIP program should have a genuine intention to stay and settle in the community which recommends them.
And another lovely thing about this program is that newcomers are assigned a designated settlement worker who connects them with settlement services and mentoring opportunities with established members of the community.
There are currently 11 communities across rural parts of Canada which have been authorised by the Canadian government to participate in the programme, and those communities are as follows. 5 communities in Ontario: North Bay, Sudbury, Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie and Thunder Bay, along with Brandon and Altona, Rhineland in Manitoba, Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan, Claresholm in Alberta and 2 in BC, Vernon and also West Kootenay, which includes Trail, Castlegar, Rossland and Nelson.
Each community has its own webpage dedicated to its involvement in the RNIP program. We'll put the links to all of these areas in the description box below.
So, who can apply for the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot? Let's take a look at the eligibility requirements. To begin with, you need to have at least 1 year of continuous work experience in the past 3 years, and your work experience must meet the skill level requirement of the NOC code provided in the job offer. If you're not familiar with NOC or NOC codes, it is a system used by the Government of Canada to classify occupations. Occupations are grouped into categories based on the type of work a person does, the skill level, the education required, and the types of duties they fulfill. You can find out which NOC code your work experience is classified under by clicking the link in the description box below.
You must also meet the minimum language requirements in either English or French, which range from CLB 4 to CLB 6 depending on the level of skill required in your job offer. For NOC C and D positions, the minimum language level is CLB 4. For NOC B positions, you'll need a language level of CLB 5. And for NOC 0 and A positions, you need a minimum of CLB 6. For more info on CLB levels and what they mean, check out our video, which is linked above.
Next are the educational requirements. You must have completed high school, and if this education was not completed in Canada, you will need an educational credential assessment, which shows that your education is at least equivalent to a Canadian high school diploma.
You also need to prove that you have enough money to support yourself and any family members when you move into the community, and the amount for this is remarkably low for the RNIP. As of February 2022, a single person only needs settlement funds of 9,096 Canadian dollars, and a family of 4 will need proof of $16,902. You can see more about the settlement funds in the link in the description box below.
Finally, you must meet any community-specific requirements which can be found on the individual web pages, And of course, you must intend to settle in the community which recommends you.
One final thing, if you happen to already be inside Canada when you apply for this program, you must have valid temporary resident status at the time of application, whether that's as a visitor, student or worker. Once you've met all the eligibility requirements, you can start looking for a job within the community if you haven't got one lined up already. The only requirements for the job are that it must be full-time and permanent. It can be in any of the skill areas from NOC 0A, B, C and right through to D.
So as you can see, compared to a lot of the immigration pathways, including express entry, the eligibility requirements for the RNIP are relatively low for language level, education and work experience. For most people, the trickiest part will be finding a job in the community, so this is something you should get onto right away if you believe that you would be eligible for this program and would be interested in going to live in any of the participating communities.
As we mentioned earlier, successful candidates can bring their immediate family members with them, and they can also apply for permanent residence. This includes a spouse or partner and any dependent children.
With regards to how you apply for the RNIP program, each community has its own recommendation process, and the application process will be different depending on which community you apply to. The individual community websites will give you detailed information on how their application process works and what documents you will need to apply, so check out the individual pages in the description box below. Once you have received a recommendation from a community, you can apply for permanent residence.
The last thing we'll talk about is the option to obtain a work permit while you wait for your application to be processed. Now, if you've applied for permanent residence through the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot, you may also be eligible for a 1-year work permit, which means you can work while your permanent residence application is being processed. This is a brilliant feature of this program, as application through most immigration pathways mean you have no choice but to simply wait for your permanent residence. You can come to Canada while you wait, but your status will be as a visitor with no permission to work, and with recent wait times of up to 2 or 3 years for express entry programs, this isn't really a viable option for most people.
To qualify for a 1-year work permit, you must first have an eligible offer of employment, have your recommendation from the participating community, and have received an acknowledgement of receipt letter from IRCC. It is a closed work permit and will only allow you to work for the employer who offered you the job in the participating community. And even better than this, your spouse or common law partner can also apply for an open work permit when you apply for your 1-year permit to work in any job in the same community as you.
Okay, that's all for the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. It's a great program for both the foreign workers and the rural communities, so I have a feeling it might well be extended after the 5-year trial period. Have you applied through this program? Do any of the participating communities look like somewhere you would like to live? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos all about Canada, and we'll see you next time.